Hello everybody, my name is Gabe, and this is episode 3 to Let's Make Rust. In this episode, we're going to be doing something I think is kind of cool. We're going to be making some pretty basic AI. So basically what's going to happen with this AI, it's going to be very simple. He's just going to be probably a capsule, something like that. When you get near him, he'll just start following you, and we'll use our melee script to kill him. So let's get started, because I'm not sure this video might be a little lengthy. So I'm going to make a new folder in the scripts folder, and I'm going to call this AI. And in that folder, we're going to make a C# script, and I'll just call this basic AI. Alright, so open that up, and once that's open, you should get a blank script. So I'm just going to do the do. So we're going to start off by giving ourselves a private Nav Mesh Agent, and I'm just going to call this agent, and I'll show you what that is right now. So I'm going to make, in the hierarchy here, back in our game, our capsule. Alright, this is just going to be our basic enemy. Maybe I'll make him a little taller. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to give him, we're going to look for a Nav Mesh Agent, and what that'll do is this is a controller for the Nav Mesh, which we are going to build in a second, and I'll explain what all that is. Treat the Nav Mesh Agent right now as a basic controller. And in this script, we're just going to tell him where to go and when. Alright, so I'm going to make a start method here. And in here, we're going to find the agent. Oops, private void start. And we're going to do agent is equal to get component and Nav Mesh Agent. Okay, so what that's going to do is look on our object here, and it's just going to basically find this component. So find the component. Oops, lag, strange. Find the component Nav Mesh Agent. Okay, so now let's just build a pretty basic nav mesh. So how we do this is we go to our navigation tab, which we can bring up by going to window, and should be here navigation, and I docked mine over here where inspector and lighting is. For object, let's just select the terrain and walkable. Don't worry about this yet. Navigation static means that this is just a static object and it won't move. So just select that. Conifer trees, ignore those. Okay, just the terrain. Go to bake and leave all this the way it is for now, and bake. Alright, so once that is done, you should get something that looks fairly similar to this. It might not be the best nav mesh because this is on a terrain, but it will do. Looks kind of okay here. So basically this guy is going to go anywhere this nav mesh basically allows him to. So anywhere on the blue if we have show nav mesh checked. Okay, so now we're going to make a private void here on trigger enter and collider target. And we're going to do in here if target dot tag is equal to player, then we're going to do agent dot set destination to target dot transform, and I think we might need to do dot position. Yeah. Okay. Actually, this might be pretty inefficient because that means he'll have to stay in the collider, and this could cause problems actually. So I'm going to make a private transform here, and I'll just call this player transform, and we'll just do player transform is equal to target dot transform, and we're just going to do over here player transform dot position instead. So we're going to set destination to player, and we're going to reference the player's transform. if the target is tagged player, and this is when we enter the collider. So we're gonna have to make that collider here, or that trigger. So I'm gonna do add component, and I'm gonna do a sphere collider. I'm gonna select this so we can change the size of it, and I'll do about this big. This is good enough. And we're gonna have to make sure that we have checked is trigger. If I drag basic AI over here, that should work. And I'm gonna move the player back a little bit. I'm gonna go into our, okay, so we don't have one. I'm gonna make a folder here called materials. And I'm just gonna make a basic material called red. And I'm just gonna make this the color red, smoothness down, so it's just basically as you can see here, so it's basically just you know, a rough object or a rough material. So if I drag this now onto our new capsule, and I'll just name our capsule enemy, go to prefabs, and I'll just drop them in there. Make sure our player is tagged player, and let's try this out. Let's see if it works. Okay, the grass is a little tall, so we'll deal with that eventually. But if we go up to the enemy, there we go, now he's chasing us. If we leave, he does stop because he can't find the transform anymore. So, and this is going to do on trigger enter. So we can make this a little more efficient by making a oops, when we enter the screwed that up. When we enter the collider, we will instead make a bool true. We'll do is chasing, and we'll do is chasing is equal to true. And we're gonna actually take this, cut that out, and create a private void update and put that in there. So we're going to do if is chasing is equal to true. Okay, that's good. That should work. So let's try that out. If we go to the enemy, he should still chase us. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he does. As we get further and further, he should still chase us. And as you can see, he does. Okay, so that works fine. That's our pretty basic AI, so I guess now we can get into attacking the AI. So in enemy, I'm going to have to give him a tag enemy. So create a tag enemy and give that tag to it and apply. Okay, so back to the AI. I'm going to give him a public integer health equal to 100 for the melee system. Do we do? Okay, so it's an integer, so that'll work just fine. If I make a public bool here, or sorry, a public void, and I'll call this take damage and int damage, we will do health minus or equal to damage, and I'll do debug.log enemy took damage and now has this much health. Okay, so debug our health, and over here we're gonna do remove, or deduct health from health file. Okay, so we're basically set with this. We do have to do one more thing actually, so I'm going to do over here if health is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to destroy game object. Okay, so we're going to destroy game object, and if health is is less than 0 or equal to 0. If is chasing is true. I'm trying to comment things out more because someone did tell me to start commenting things out more, considering this is a more beginner-friendly tutorial. I'm trying to make this as beginner-friendly as possible. If I'm going too fast, by the way, let me know in the comments. Or if you need help with anything, I'll try to help you as soon as possible via comments. Okay, so now we're going to go to our melee system, and where we have if hit info.collider.tag is equal to tree, we're going to make a else if here. So else if, did I do that right? Hold on. Hit info.collider.tag is equal to enemy. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do over here, if we hit the tag enemy, and over here I'll do if we hit the tag tree. Okay, I'm also gonna have to make another instance here, so I'm gonna do private basic AI, or I'll just call it basic AI, why not? So if we get this, if we hit that enemy, so basic AI is equal to hit info.collider.getComponent basic AI, just like we did for the tree, although this is not going to be in the parent. So find the basic AI script from the enemy, and we're going to now do basic AI dot take damage. And we do have minimum and maximum, so I'm actually going to do instead attack enemy. And make another void called attack enemy. And we're going to do basic AI dot take damage. Damage. And we're going to make damage int damage is equal to random dot range. Minimum damage and maximum damage. And there we go. So this should work. So let's try that out. I'm going to bring up the console here. Oops. If hit info. Oh, oops, I screwed that up. That is actually supposed to go here. Excuse me. So if I hit play again, okay, we shouldn't get the error when I click on the ground. What was happening was we were doing if physics.raycast, so if we hit something with the ray, so when I clicked on the ground, it did otherwise. If we hit the ray, it's going to find a collider, which you can't do that because we don't even have this set up, so basically I just broke the whole thing. That's why you have to know where you are putting your brackets and everything. I just didn't read it correctly. My mistake. So if we go back up to this enemy and we left click, you can see enemy took damage 61, 24, and he's dead. So if I now create a bunch of, oops, if I create a bunch of enemies here, that's strange. Okay, so if I create a bunch of enemies like that, hit play, one by one, we can just kill them all. They'll all chase us at the same time. Yep, there we go. So we can rally up a nice horde of red capsules. Alright, so I think that's it for this episode. Next episode we're going to be doing a little bit more advanced AI. I'm also going to do something about this grass because it is kind of pissing me off. It's it's too tall, I think. So yeah, next episode we're going to be doing advanced AI, so they'll be able to attack us and things like that. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I didn't go too fast. I kind of feel like I went too fast with this episode. Have a good one.